Hi everyone, this is Steve Krause and welcome to English 444. If you're watching this, there's a pretty good chance that you're enrolled in the class for summer 2012. I'm actually enjoying summer right now. I'm sitting in my backyard recording this video. I'm experimenting with some new cameras here, so hopefully this will all work out. I just wanted to record a brief welcoming video to go over a few highlights of the class and give you a chance to then introduce yourselves underneath, where this video is, who you are and everything. I'll go first. I've been here since 1998. I've been teaching this class since it started in about 2000 or so. It's really changed a lot because what it means to write for the World Wide Web keeps changing. And I'm the writing program coordinator, which means that if you're a grad student, undergrad major, you probably have to come deal with me. And I've been teaching this class online for a while too, and I think that online has a pretty interesting dynamic in terms of the way that it works out. So what I'm going to do on my computer here is I'm going to look at my syllabus, and you should do something similar. So if you're not looking at the maybe if you open up a different screen, or if you want to print it out or something like that, and I'll just hit a couple highlights on here. My office hours are going to be on Wednesdays, but to tell you the truth, since it's an online class, chances are the way that we'll interact is through email and things like that. And I always answer my email even when I'm away. There's you see right there, there's the books that you need to get. There's 4 of them. Eric Freeman and Elizabeth Robson's Head First HTML with CSS and XHTML. Steve Krug, Rocket Surgery Made Easy, the do-it-yourself guide to finding and fixing usability problems. Ginny Reddish's Letting Go of the Words, Writing Web Content That Works. And Clay Shirky, Here Comes Everybody, the power of organizing without organizations. There's going to be some other readings too that are assigned that are just basically all online, and when those come up, and links to things and such, and when those comes up, I'll let you know what they are. I talk in some detail about the warnings about hardware, software, and computer experience and intentions. Let me give you the boiled down version of it for our purposes here. First off, you don't need to have had any previous experience with HTML, CSS, or any of these things. That said, if you do have experience with these things, you're certainly going to be ahead of the curve. And if you don't have any experience with these things, or you're kind of worried about them, you're going to have to spend more time wrestling with the technological issues of the course, because, and this is the second thing, the course is called Writing for the World Wide Web, so not surprisingly involves a lot of computer geeky kind of stuff, which, listen, even if you're a little worried and scared about it, it's going to do you a world of good, because one of the things I love about this class is that students leave the course with real pragmatic, practical skills that they can actually apply in the workplace. How to use code, how to write for social media, all this other kind of business. And the fact of the matter is that working in the world nowadays involving writing is going to involve things on the web. So you're going to have to get used to that computer software thing if you haven't gotten used to it already at this point anyways. Let me also just hit a couple highlights about the online format and the 7.5-week format. I cannot emphasize this enough. It's an accelerated format. It's not a short format. You have to imagine it as being like taking 15 pounds of whatever and putting it into a 7.5-pound bag, because that's literally what I do when I put together the schedule. Well, not literally, because it's not pounds, it's a syllabus. There's certain things about online classes too that I want to mention that have advantages and disadvantages. One of the advantages is this. I'm sitting here actually in my backyard. It's a beautiful sunny day. In fact, it's getting a little bit warm for me. I might have to switch to doing some of this other video stuff indoors. And I'm also recording this the week before our class begins, because I'm actually leaving town, and I'll be out of town probably when you watch this video, and then I'll be coming back into town. Now, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I think that's what happens a lot of times with online classes. People have perfectly good intentions when they start, but then they kind of like fall by the wayside a little bit. This all has some consequences in terms of participation, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I just want to point out right now that only you can be responsible for your internet access, your computer access, and your diligence in staying on top of the class. You have the flexibility of setting your own schedule and being in a variety of different locations, but you also have the responsibility to set your own schedule and make sure that you can get online in a variety of different locations. Okay, there is such a thing for this class as online attendance, which means I expect people to participate in the ongoing discussions with everyone else in the class. It's not a self-guided study, and it's also not a class where you can just kind of pop in whatever you want. So what that means is, and you'll see this when you look at the schedule of events, the week is basically divided up into two segments, Monday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Friday. Things begin on a Monday, end on a Wednesday, and then they begin again on a Wednesday, and then on a Friday. So I expect everyone to be at least somehow present between Monday and Wednesday to Friday of every single week. If you're gone in one of those weeks, that is, I don't have any evidence of you participating in the class discussions or what have you, then I will count you as absent. And if you miss class, if you're absent like that twice, I'll dock your participation grade 30%. If you're absent from class like that 3 times, I'll dock your participation grade by 100%. So again, make sure that you are there at least 2 times a week. And I should point out, and this gets down to the participation section of the syllabus, which is worth 250 points. Participating twice a week is a minimal requirement. I really expect you to participate a whole lot more. Let me put it to you this way. If we were meeting in a normal face-to-face environment in 7.5 weeks, we would be getting together about 6 hours a week. So I expect that you will be participating in the online forum for the class about 6 hours a week. I know that may seem like a lot, but like I said, it's 7.5 weeks, 15 pounds crammed into 7.5 pound bag, etc. One of the things I'm experimenting with this semester too is everybody needs to set up an account on this website. Let me explain how to do this. To do this, you want to click where it says log in here. That should take you to this screen, but it won't say admin. Click where it says register, and then you'll want to enter in a username and the email address you'd prefer to use. You can use your EMU email, Gmail, whatever you want. Be sure to remember your username and make sure it's something that is useful. Then you have to go check your email. After you check your email, go back and log back in. I just paste my password in here and then hit login. Now once you're able to log in, there's a whole bunch of different things that you can adjust how you can interact with the site. But I just want to talk about the username and password changes that you need to make. You should enter in your real first name and your real last name at this screen. The nickname that you pick is really totally up to you. I just put in SK, Steve K. And then how you want your name to be displayed publicly, which other people would see on the web, is totally up to you. You get to pick one of those choices. But whichever you want. You're for sure going to want to change your password to something that you can remember. So click where it says new password, and then you just want to, enter in a new password. And, you can pay attention to this strong, weak thing. This is not a high security site, so if it's not a super secure password, that's okay. You want to, pick something that you can remember, but also you should be aware that you can always retrieve your password if you forget. Okay. And then from now on for the rest of the semester, you want to log into the site every time you come back to visit it. Your browser will probably remember it. If you want to leave a comment on a comment like here, I'm just writing ta-da, you just write that and then you just post comment. And as long as you have a username that works, it'll pop right up. Another thing to keep in mind is sign up for a Twitter and a LinkedIn account. We'll be playing with Twitter and LinkedIn a little bit this semester. Basically, the big thing is the writing projects, and there's basically 3 of them that are divided into separate projects, although they'll obviously overlap. The first is the HTML, CSS, Zen Flowerpot, and CSS Zen Flowerpot exercises. That consists of 2 projects. The first is just working your way through a series of HTML, CSS exercises, and the second project is an interesting experiment in making a very good web page and a very bad web page. The semester social media project is something that begins basically at the beginning of the semester and goes all the way to the end, and you're going to participate in both Twitter and LinkedIn during the course of the semester. And then what I also want you to do is pick 2 other social media networks that you're not already engaged in and participate in those as well. And then at the end of the semester, you'll write a reflective essay about that. So as an example, I'm assuming that most of you have a Facebook account. That would be something you already participate in, so that doesn't count. But if, for example, you haven't done this Pinterest thing, sure, sign up for it. You want to try Foursquare? That sounds great. You want to try something like Flickr or Dig or Delicious or Google Plus or any of those other things? Absolutely, sign up. A student one semester who one of his social media exercises was writing reviews on Amazon.com all semester. I could be talking to that too. The last project is the usability / text to hypertext project, and that's worth the most because it's basically 2 assignments in one. The first assignment involves a usability testing exercise that we'll be doing having to do with the EMU website. The second part of the assignment involves you developing your own website based on something that you have done before, a print document that you wrote in the past, and then translating it, transferring it into a website. And along the way, as you develop that website, you'll also be doing some usability testing on it. If you're a grad student, there's another project there for the class, which is the social media electronic mediated interview. You can read all about it. We'll be talking about it. But essentially what you want to do is you want to find someone in the world, in the field out there, who is somehow has expertise in the sort of topic matter of the class, which Writing for the World Wide Web is a broad class. It can be social media, it can be technical writing, it can be teaching with technology and so forth. But someone out there who you can interview and then share that interview with us electronically on the class website. The one thing that I just mentioned, besides the fact that you don't want to turn stuff in late, is in order to pass the class, you have to complete all the exercises. So make sure that you actually do that. And then I had some discussion here in the syllabus about privacy online. You know, this class is out there on the web. Anybody in the world could come across this, and who knows, maybe some other people from outside will come across it. So you have to be aware of that. And for the most part, since I think most people are participating nowadays in social networks and other ways where they live at least some of their life publicly on the web, I think that you're probably at least somewhat aware of some of the issues and constraints involved in this. That said, if you are really concerned about your privacy online, and it's perfectly legitimate to feel that way, you may want to think about that as you post with the kind of things that you post and the kind of comments and content that you have. I'll always only refer to you by your first name and last initial, and how you refer to yourself is really kind of up to you. The only other thing I want to talk about here really briefly is the schedule. So if you look where it says schedule for summer 2012, the way that the class works, except for this first week where there's a 4th of July, is that generally everything is divided up between Monday through Wednesday and Wednesday through Friday. So for example, you'll notice next week week 2, July 9th, July 13th, you'll notice there's a whole bunch of different stuff due Monday and finished by Wednesday. That means that by Monday, on July 9th, I expect everyone to have begun discussing all the issues for that day. That is, you've finished the first 4 HTML, CSS exercises, you've read the first couple chapters of Shirky's book, you've read and discussed the Paul Adams slideshow and the real life social networks, and you've read and discussed the tagging interview with David Weinberger. I know that seems like a lot, but remember, every half week is like a week in this class, and so that's why there's all that stuff crammed in there. Anyways, the idea is you'll begin doing this on Monday, and then we'll have a conversation in the comments section of this website from Monday through Wednesday. And then as this first week rolls, or this first half of the week winds down in terms of the conversation, the next part of the week starts. So begin Wednesday, finish on Friday, we'll read the first part of the Steve Krug's book and so forth, okay? The schedule is probably pretty much the way it's gonna be, especially in terms of the deadlines for things. Those are typically in red. Those are the dates in which something important is due. There may be some changes towards the end of the semester. You may note if you read on that there's some continuing discussion, usability and design and reading activities to be arranged. And also the grad student electronically mediated interviews will be part of our conversation later on the semester, and those have yet to be arranged as well. Okay, I think this is hopefully enough to get you started. Again, welcome aboard. I hope you're having a lovely day like me, and I'll see you online.